Hello and welcome to day 15 of the October Adventures in Tarot casting. I hope you've been enjoying this series as much as I have. Today we are working with the Beyond Worlds sticker. This is what my page looks like. Ta-da! And this is what the sticker looks like. And of course I have my card. These cards, I think I'm going to have to resubmit them on Make Playing Cards because for some reason it still says awaiting approval. I don't know if I have to order another deck, which might be the case since I had to update one of the cards because I realized that I did a misspelling. So I will get that done, and as soon as I have these available for print on demand, I will let you guys know. So let's get to the Beyond Worlds and let me explain this sticker a little bit. So I really wanted something to harness the celestial bodies and the celestial energy, and kind of like this cliff idea came to mind, and then I started thinking about, well, maybe this is the fool's realm, right? Like the fool, before they walk off the cliff, maybe they camped out for the night and they just saw what the universe had to provide and just said, you know what, I'm willing to take this leap. Because we don't know what they see, right? And so in my world, I figured, hey, maybe they're seeing everything and nothing, like the nothingness of the black hole, the expansiveness of Jupiter, the constraint of Saturn, like all the things. So this spread welcomes us into the realm of the Fool, and it awaits for us to go past our comfort zones, daring us to discover what bridges the gap from what is known to what it awaits beyond our self-imposed limitations, right? I really love it. You could use it as a general just check-in because there's not a lot of placements. There's like 2 large tarot placements. We're going to use the Fountain Tarot. I haven't used this deck in quite some time. I thought that it might really play with this board a lot. And then I have the Morgan Greer, which kind of brings us back into that realm. And then Love is on the Record for the Oracle. And then, of course, my Lenormand tiles. So let's just get right into it, right? So the Fountain Tarot. So the first position is the comfort zone, right? Like this is us in that tent where we know we're safe, even though we're out in the elements. Creating a tent kind of creates that barrier between us and the world, right? So this is the comfort zone. This is the current energy, what we are experiencing that keeps us maybe even a little bit sheltered. And like always, you can always use your own interpretations. You never have to take mine are just suggestions. Like if your idea of comfort is something different, or if your idea of being intent is something different, then by all means, write your own spread based on the placements. That's why a lot of my spreads in the past never came with suggestions, because I wanted people to be able to make their own route, but I'm understanding that sometimes we just need the jump off point, right? And I am happy to provide the jump off point. So for the comfort, we have the 9 of Wands. And when I see that, at first it looks like they're putting together the tent, right? Like it almost mirrors that tent and the steps to get there. And it's like a lot of times we will stay in a place that is trying and maybe even a little uncomfortable because we're so used to that. So it's like the devil or the discomfort that is better than actually getting out and doing something different, because you can manage this, right? So when I see this person using all the steps of how far they've gotten here to be able to get to this point, and just being like, but I've worked so hard at it, I'm not willing to let it go right now, right? And so then we have the unknown, which is the black hole, the void that is swallowing up like anything that comes in its route. And that can be scary, but it's saying this is what can await you. This energy is daring you to make the jump, because what we don't know is scarier than just taking the journey, right? And so let's see what card wants to add to the conversation about that. And the Fountain. So the Fountain in this deck is, I believe, obviously a yeah, it's an extra. So I want to see what they say about it. But right there, I see it's unknown, right? If anything is showing up, it's saying like, look, like it almost takes the energy of this black hole and shows what happens when we go through it and it collapses behind us. You can't go back that way, right? It's saying dare to make the leap into the unknown. Even though it's scary, it might actually change the color of it, like turn it into this rainbow of something else. What a great deck to play with this backdrop. So let's see what they say about the fountain from the creators. Since it is an extra card and I don't have a codex, it says to be. The fountain exists outside and beyond the cycles of birth, death, time, and form. It is nameless, changeless source of which everything is part of. It is the waking from the dream of separateness and identity to the recognition of oneself as not only connected to all things, but all things divine nature. When the fountain appears, relinquish all illusion of control and remain quiet. It invites you to observe, master less, and to just be. So it's really that moment of cosmic clarity, fully awakeness, and the end of seeking and becoming an enlightened being. Like, that's what's in the unknown. I love that showed up for that position as saying, yeah, duh, take the leap. Take the leap, and I dare you. So then this card here, the pocket card, you could use an oracle or you could use whatever you like. Again, I'm just going to keep telling you, use whatever you want, but I figured it would be fun to use the Pocket Morgan Greer. This deck was my first tarot deck, not the pocket one, but just Morgan Greer was. And this is how best to push past the boundaries in order to explore. So we might still be on that cliff contemplating going to the fountain, right? Like, what is the quest that's bringing us to that fountain, to the unknown? And sometimes we need that bridge. And so that's what this card is going to be. And we may need help with the earthly realm in order to get to the ethereal realm, right? And this card I have written on my little spreadsheet that you do get a copy of the spread with the orders of these. Says how best to push past boundaries in order to explore and what will be needed for the journey ahead. And we have the Queen of Cups. And it's saying maybe you need to really dive into your just feeling nature instead of like get out of your logical mind and just go with your feeling and know and trust your intuition. Like, we know that the Queen of Cups is the one who is the most in tune with the emotional realm and the waters. And I can't help but see, like, spanning this vast ocean, or it's not really an ocean because there's two on each side, but this shoreline into the ether, into the great unknown, into the ocean of the sky. And she sees it. And I love that she's looking this way, which is going to give us an opportunity to see what the oracle card has for us here. So then we have the tarot or Lenormand tiles or whatever. These can always be runes. They can be crystals. I'm going to say this each time, so you're going to get tired of me saying it. But it's going to be using the things that you have in your collection. They could even be just some of those fun divination tools that other amazing creators create. You can put those in there. I have them sized for the tiny tiles because that's what we make. So this is our leap of faith, and these three pair together for the guidance to how to face the unknown. Good or bad, this is going to help us prepare no matter what. So we know that we're feeling called to go there, and this is going to help us take the steps. I got 3 in my hand. I've got 3 in my hand. When I shuffle, I just kind of grab 3. And so we have the moon, the book, and the snake. And so we have the moon, the book, and the snake. You could place them, I mean, in this, you don't have to place them exactly how you flip them. Like, if it feels better to do this way, like with the snake and the moon, then by all means, like, you can transfer the reading, you can do whatever. I feel like this makes more sense for the snake being the tiny obstacle that we have to overcome. Even though there's uncertainty and unknown, we're shooting for the moon proverbially, right? So we've got the steps to take is to understand those things that are the obstacles in our path, understand that there's always going to be more knowledge to be received, But knowing the obstacle is part of acquiring the knowledge. And this is just part of the spotlight and the cycle of our life. And this could actually, going towards the unknown, I love how everything kind of like feels like it's being sucked into that black hole energy, is helping us get to this fountain, is helping us get to this state of just being. And it's knowing, whenever I see the moon, I either think about, the spotlights, our cycles, our career, the vocation, the way we show up in the world, So getting past those small obstacles and knowing that we don't know everything is part of being part of the present world, right? And so now we have the oracle, and oracles, the ones that I letter in a spread, so like this one says A, it's optional. You can use it if you feel like the reading is done. I like to show you all the positions. So of course we're going to use it. But if you don't feel like using it, you don't have to. So this oracle card, and I thought it would be fun to use this deck, which is Love is on the Record, because they look like records, and it's a round oracle deck. And I thought it would be fun because it's kind of like the music of our lives, the recordings of our lives, the things that we do being cast in wax, being the grooves that we make that tell the story of our life, our songs, So this is vastness. This is the energy that the cosmos wants you to know that is always available, and you can tap into it at any moment, any time on the journey, no matter what. It can be helpful. It could also be hindering. So sometimes we need to look back to the things that weren't the best for us in order to remember the lessons that we learned from it. So that's if you get like a hard card in a weird position that should be kind of like positive, it's a reminder that the burdens are just as much part of our journey as are the good cards. So let's see. This is our vastness. And let's just cut the deck and see what is on our record. And we have the breakdown. So let's get that zoomed in. And it's the stress, sadness, and frustration. So sometimes that goes into me talking about like when it's a hindrance and understanding that sometimes we have to break down and we have to acknowledge the stresses and the sadnesses and the frustrations in order to be pushed off of our ledges. Sometimes it just really has to get so bad that we don't want to deal with it anymore in order to go and look for that great unknown. I love that the queen, like this is where you can look at the stickers and say, okay, well, she's looking at the breakdown and she's saying enough of this. I am not my breakdown. I am not my stress. I am not my sadness. I am not my frustration. I'm going to release that to the vastness of the universe. And this is also where you can bring in the layers of the casting sticker as an oracle card. So if you're like, okay, this is an oracle card in the spread, you can say, I'm going to release that to the breakdown is going to just go. I'm leaving that on the shores just from an observation point and say, that is what brought me to this ledge. That is what brought me to seek the wild and just to go explore what is not known to me. And the queen is saying that is part of who I am, but is not who I am. And so she's bridging the Nine of Wands, which is saying, okay, each one of these batons is a step in the direction that I want to go. And I love how this is almost prying it open, and then this is sealing it shut. So we have seen our obstacles, which is the breakdown, and we understand that we're not always going to understand. But just like the moon, we are going to be amongst the stars, and we're going to get to that point. So have you used this sticker? Do you have it? Let me know how you use it. Let me know if it's something like how you might explore this realm. Maybe you saw something in this reading that I didn't, which is awesome. Let me know in the comments, and let's see what we're going to work with tomorrow, shall we? And we have the spice rack. So let's see. So tomorrow we will be working with the spice rack and looking through our jar of tricks, basically, jars of tricks. So join me tomorrow. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Let your friends know about this, your tarot loving friends, your divination loving friends know about this series. And If you're enjoying it, please let me know what you would like to see, what stickers maybe you're looking forward to seeing. And I have some exciting news that at the end of the month I will definitely be revealing about the, coming soon to my Patreon in the new year. So anyway, thank you for being here. And as always, I will be here tomorrow with another spread. See ya. Bye.